Hello, this is Tim with Ace Appliance in Toledo, Ohio, and welcome back to another in-home diagnostic video brought to you by ApplianceVideo.com. Okay, we're on a Kenmore washing machine that will not spin or agitate. So the first thing that we're going to do is put it into a spin. And you can hear that noise and hear some water coming out, so we know that the motor is actually working and the pump is pumping out water. So what we suspect is that there's a broken motor coupling. So we're gonna lift up the washing machine and check it out. It's really easy it's a very visual thing, and once we confirm that, then we will replace the motor coupler. Okay, to replace a motor coupler, we use just a couple of tools. A hammer of any sort to fully seat the coupler. I use a socket to actually get in there to seat it. A tack puller or a common screwdriver will work to help get the clips off the pump, and a 1/4-inch wrench to get the mounting bolts off of the motor. A flashlight never hurts to be able to see what you're doing, and those are the only tools that we needed. So the first thing we'll do is slide this guy back. We'll empty the rest of the water out of it to make it a little lighter, and then we'll slide it on back and gain access to our coupler. Now this can be done by taking the entire cabinet off, but to me it's actually easier to leave the cabinet on, because when we remove the pump it'll give it a place to set and be out of the way. So the first thing that we're going to do is remove the clips that hold the drain pump on. Set those aside. And this is the reason I like to keep the cabinet on, is once we remove the pump, we can just kind of slide it up and over so it stays out of the way. Otherwise it's constantly in your way. And the next thing we're going to do is remove the 1/4-inch mounting bolts for the motor. There's one on the bottom and one on the top. Not every machine like this has these bolts on there, so it's okay if they're not there. These clips really hold the motor on pretty well. So now we're going to take our little tack puller and just kind of pry that bottom one off. It really helps to do the bottom one first, because then you can just rotate the motor up and it releases the pressure on that top clip. So now we'll remove the motor, and here is the coupler, and on this one you can see that it's all rounded off, so when it was trying to spin it just wouldn't go anywhere. That should be a D, and it's just completely rounded. So we have our new coupler, and we're going to get it on the motor first. We'll then take a socket and pound this on flush with the motor shaft, and then we'll go up to the transmission and get the other side on. Get that all lined up in there. And then we will take our that on there. There's a centerpiece that we'll put on this one. And I always put just line it up first, put the tip up, and then get our coupler lined up on there. And then we will take the motor and line it up, and it goes in real nice. These clips can be a little tricky, but we'll put the top one in first, and you'll be able to see on the bottom how they actually go in. So if you just put it in, there's a groove or opening, and rotate, and then put it back on. We'll reinstall the mounting bolts. Let's tighten them down. Make sure that one's nice and tight. The next thing we're going to do is put the pump back on. And I always rotate the motor shaft just in the straight up and down, so it's a little easier to put the pump back on. There is a on the other side of the pump, you can see which way it actually should go on, and if you pre-line them up, it makes it a lot easier. So now we're back on. We'll put the pump clips back on. Now these couplers break in all kind of different ways. A lot of times either the little prongs will break, or they'll break right in here. This is less common that they get rounded out, but it's just one more way that they can fail. So now we will put the washer back down, give it a little test run, and we'll be all set. Alright, so now that we have our motor coupler replaced, we're going to put our washer back in its normal position. And these have self-adjusting legs on the back, so anytime I move it, I lift it up a couple of times to get those evened out. Plug this back in, and hit spin. Very different sound. And you can open up the lid to confirm that the basket is rotating. And we have our repair completed. Thank you for watching another in-home diagnostic video brought to you by ApplianceVideo.com.